All right, welcome in. So I am back, and it's been a couple months since we did a market update, but it is the middle of July, and I wanted to talk about where we stand so far this year, what's been happening in the market as we head into the end of the summer and into the fall season. So, um, thanks for watching, and let's go ahead and dive into these numbers. So on your screen, let's look at a couple of the things that we've been seeing so far in the marketplace. So right now, the first thing I want to look at is absorption rates. Absorption rates are trending upwards. And if we look at the year over year numbers, absorption rates are up almost 25% from June of 25 versus June of 24. So that is a sign that there is less demand in the marketplace this year than there was last year. The next thing I want to look at is the number of total year-to-date sold listings as compared to the listing inventory. So we're about flat on sold listings, just slightly less this year than last year, but almost a number that's basically equal to. Um, Now, the number of listings that have come on the market year to date is up almost 9%, 8.5%. So we've had more listings come on the market and about the same amount of listings sell year to date, which means the market has more inventory now this time this year than it did this time last year. So that's the reason why we're seeing that higher number of absorption rate. So there's more houses available for sale, and we're not selling through the inventory quite as fast as we were last year. Now, that's not to say that it's not a seller's market. Anything below 4 months supply of inventory, we would consider to be a seller's market, and we're at about 2.25. So in most areas, we're still in a seller's market, but there are some locations and some properties that are seeing more of a buyer's market. It's really important that we pay attention to the specific details of your neighborhood, your school district, your price point in the market that we have right now. So let's also look at the average sales price. So average sales price and median sales price year to date is up between 3 and 4%, which is a decently healthy number. It's not the appreciation rate that we had seen in years past, but it's still a positive number and definitely exceeding a lot of other markets around the United States. Heading into the end of the summer and into the fall, we see in June that the list price to sales price ratio took a slight dip downward. So it peaked out at just about 99% or almost 99%, and it's heading back down as we get into the fall. And that's another indicator of the level of demand and the level of competition in the marketplace. As we head into the fall, they are predicting a rate drop in the fall and then several more over the next year or so. However, that hasn't happened yet, and supply and demand is going to be heavily predicated on what happens with interest rates. If we get some positive news on interest rates, then we will see demand remain steady or maybe increase a little bit. But if we do not, if rates stay where they are, then you're going to see a typical trajectory, which is a little bit of a drop off in demand as we get into August and go throughout the fall. So pay attention to interest rates and see what's happening with those, because that will impact heavily the level of demand in the marketplace. A rate drop is certainly going to help demand. And if rates stay where they are, we're going to see probably less demand as we head into the fall and into the winter. So it depends on what side of the market you're on. That could be a great thing for you. We're going to see inventory that is on the market today possibly stay on the market and be in a great position to negotiate good deals going into the fall. But on the same time, we may not see that. It all depends on what happens in the market over the next month to 2 or 3 months. So that is your midsummer market update. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on the next one.